He is an online marketer who has been in the field since the early 80s. Yes, the early 80s. He's a quite the professional. He is a well, we'll get into what he does as far as outside of marketing as well. But he's a good friend, CEO and founder of Agile Marketing Services, Scott Gardner.
Thanks for having me on, Mark. I really appreciate it. And I really like what you're doing here.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's just start off with a little introduction. Just telling us a little bit about your history, how you got into being a marketer, and how you started the marketing services.
Oh, I don't think we have time for all that.
Oh yeah.
I'll make it as condensed as possible. I was actually in the early 80s, I was working for a company, basically working in a warehouse. And I was approached by someone who said, we need some help on the phones. How would you like to join my marketing team? And the pay was about twice what I was getting in the warehouse. So I said, sure. So I was doing inbound sales calls for them. And about a month later, the marketing manager's assistant left. And he said, how would you like to take her job? So I said, sure. So he put me on a plane and sent me to Kansas and said, you're in charge of our trade show booth. I had never done anything like that before.
Oh, wow.
So I was really tossed into the deep end. And as the story goes, it's been downhill ever since.
The deep end of the pool.
End of the pool, man. Because I had no idea what I was doing. I was just standing at a show in a very expensive suit. I didn't know what our products were. I didn't know what questions were going to be asked. I was just standing there with a dumb smile on my face. I learned an awful lot there.
Oh, really?
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Sink or swim.
Yeah.
I sank.
Oh.
So
you learn more from sinking than you do swimming.
I think you do learn a lot more from quote unquote failing. And I really only consider it a failure quit.
Yes.
So
yes.
All of you who are listening, if you try something and it doesn't work, keep trying. Try a different way. You only fail when you go, all right, I give up.
Yes.
Edison said, I didn't fail at making the light bulb. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work.
He tried for years and years and years.
He did. Amazingly difficult. But and some things worked, and some things worked a little better. So, in my first time, nothing worked. So I learned a lot from that.
So here you are. You learned a lot from that being put into the position, and then
exactly. And I was lucky the fact that the gentleman that I was working for did not give up on me. He saw, I don't know why, but he saw potential in me, and kept me around, and I was able to learn a lot. But one of the things that I saw as my eyes started seeing what was going on around me, and I became aware of what was working and what wasn't, is I saw that a lot of people wanted to try really exciting things. If they're doing ad copy. If they're writing ad copy, they want to add pictures. If they've got pictures, they want to do video. If they've got a guy in a suit, they want a pretty girl in a bikini. If they've got a pretty girl in a bikini, they want a hot sports car. If they've got a hot sports car, they want a jet flying by. So they're throwing more and more exciting things into their marketing, and it's not working. And they just kind of scratch their heads and go, I don't know why this isn't working. And I was in the same boat for a long time. Then I started studying traditional Okinawan Goju karate. For those of you, karate.
So you mean to tell me there's a relationship between karate and marketing?
Not just karate, but any martial art, and actually any physical art, whether it's dancing or basket weaving. There's a principle that a lot of people kind of gloss over, and that is the basics. Now, when I started martial arts, I was very, very lucky in that I met my master's master straight from Okinawa about a month after I started. And I actually saw him wade out barefoot into an icy cold stream and stand on these very slippery rocks for like 45 minutes. And the guy didn't go anywhere.
Wow.
And I saw him training. And this gentleman was about to turn 80. And I realized that he was doing, I won't say the exact same moves, but he was doing the basics, which is all that I had time to learn.
Really?
Here, do this. And they show you the basics. Here's a guy who has spent
years,
4 times my lifespan at that point, doing the same thing that I was doing. Not jumping up in the air and spinning around. I mean, probably do that too, but the point is, it's the basic techniques of whatever you're doing that are the most impactful, that will move you the farthest ahead, that are the most effective. So you can have a 3D video with hot girls and hot guys and planes and sports cars, but if you do not have the hook, the story, and the offer, okay, if you do not have good copywriting, then you're wasting more than time, or more than money, I should say. You're wasting time in creating this. You're wasting your time, and you're wasting the time of the people who eventually consume whatever it is that you're creating.
Yeah. So many people want. Show me the new move. Show me a new move. Show me a new move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's I always, and again, I'm not picking on anybody. I have respect for all martial arts. When I see people demonstrating, I'm not talking about in the movies. I'm talking about like in real life. See people demonstrate how they fly up in the air and they can kick a board. I say that takes a lot more physical coordination than I have. But in a real fight, I would win. Because I'm not going to fly up. As soon as that person does, pardon me for saying this, I'm going to punch him in the crotch. It's simply not effective. So
that's something you see in the Hollywood movies, but it's not something that would work on in the back alley.
Let's put it this way: it only works once.
Oh yeah.
I actually I fenced for a long time, with swords, like you see, Errol Flynn doing in the movies. And one time, I was up against this kid. Pardon my denigration of him, but he was brand new at all this, and he was beating me, and so what I did was I jumped straight up in the air and yelled "Aha!" And he had his sword up, and I surprised him. He just dropped it. I landed and I touched him and I won. The next person the next pair after us, somebody tried exactly the same move. They jumped straight up in the air and yelled "Aha!" But the girl, his opponent, had already seen it, so he was up in the air and she just reached up and touched him. She won. Okay, so like I say, it only works once. And it's not the move that works, it's the surprise. That's why horror movies are short. That's why the best comedies are short. That's why one-line jokes are the best and the funniest. Because if I told you a joke that lasted 20 minutes, you'd walk out of the room before I even got there. It's short, it's sharp, and all of this leads back into marketing, and especially your niche, which is funnels. It has to be. I've seen so many people who are like, "Hey man, can you comment on my funnel? It's only got 473 moving pieces." And what I want to do is I want to add 57 more. And I'm like, and here's the thing. I had somebody today ask me, "Do you think this is a good funnel?" And all it did was introduced her, took my email address, and said, "Within 10 minutes, we will email you with my offer." That's all it did. And it was perfect. She was like, "Do I need more moving parts?" I'm like, no, you do not. If all you wanted was my email, right?
If all you want to do is collect your email address, yeah.
That's it. Now, once you get something that functions, you can add on, I don't want to say complications, but you can add complexity. So now there was no sales process to this funnel at all.
However, pretty much a lead capture page.
That's all it was. That's all it was. However, if she was trying to sell something to me, she could have a bare sales message, this wasn't her, it was somebody I was working with yesterday who was talking about pillows. But, here's a pillow and it's great. You want to buy it or not? And I said, "This is great, but what about adding in an objection that you can counter?" So, "Hi, I'm selling these pillows. You want a new pillow?" "Yes, I want a new pillow." Or, "No, I'm happy with the one I've got." Now, if you've got somebody who says, "Yes, I want a new pillow," you just give them the sales copy. But if you have somebody who says, "No, I'm happy with the pillow I've got," now that's not a no. That's an opportunity.
Exactly.
It's an opportunity to counter an objection.
Or give them more information that will help them to make a decision.
Exactly.
Give them more information that will help them to make a decision. If they didn't know that maybe they need to replace those the pillowcases. Have you replaced your pillowcase recently? It's recommended for you to replace it every, just an example, 2 months.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's I you say I'm funnel building, but I'm not so much into the designs. I'm not a design person. I'm actually probably pretty terrible at design. But
There you go.
what I do love about funnels is the way that they translate the traditional sales process into the online form.
Right.
And that's what sales funnels are. Uh, back in my days when I was selling, we had a little if then chart. That was our sales process.
Now here's the thing. And I don't disagree with you, but I am going to disagree with you.
Okay.
Only on your choice of saying, sales funnels are what we use online. Yes, that's true. We call them sales funnels, but in my way of thinking, so which means I'm 1,000% right and everybody else is wrong. It's a joke, everybody. It's a joke. No, my way of thinking is that a sales funnel, regardless of the media that it's presented in,
right,
is simply walking a prospect or a client through your sales process. Now, you can do this live, and I use burger places as an example. But if you go into a burger joint, your local burger joint, a good salesperson, not just a counter person, but a good salesperson behind the counter will walk you through essentially it's an in-person sales funnel. It provides the customer with options. It also provides the salesperson with options. Upsells, downsells, one-time offers, the close, and you can do research on all of those steps in the funnel. But my point is, that's as much a sales funnel, in my way of thinking, that's as much a sales funnel as anything you've got digitally.
I agree with you 100%. What I think maybe when I said it, when I say online, I don't discount other methods like messaging, telephones, email. I think I really mean all methods of communication. The online sales funnel is just the electronic portion of it. It's just the electronic portion of it, but a lot of sales funnels go offline. A lot of sales funnels can be offline, and they can happen in person. They can happen in person, but they can also happen over the phone. Over the phone is part of your sales funnel process also. You could still consider phone electronic communication.
You could. The thing of it is, especially for high ticket items,
yep,
what you want to do is you can start online with an automated process, and then at some point you'd want to move it offline, either to a phone call, a Zoom call, or even an in-person meeting. And that's generally where you want to do the close. Because I'll buy a book for
$9.95.
I'll even buy something for $1,000 online. But if I'm going to be charging more than that, or if I'm going to be spending more than that, I want to qualify that lead to make sure that they are ready to spend that amount of money, and whether I even want them as a customer. Because there's some people that you don't want as your ideal customer. Now they may, please take my money. Well, all right, if you insist. But there are certain people that, are you qualified? Do you have the drive it takes to take my course? Or do you have the the necessary training to become the skipper of the yacht that you're buying from me. You know, you don't necessarily want to leave everything in the hands of an automated process.
Right.
There's a lot to be said for human interaction, and
Yes.
and frankly,
Mm-hmm.
there is a big comfort, I'm going to use that word, comfort for people who are buying to interact with a real human being at some point. Now, some people have lower thresholds for that. You know, I'll buy a $9.95 book automated, but if I'm going to spend $49.95, you know, less than $50, I may need to speak with a human. You know? So I may buy a $10 book online, but I may go to my local bookstore to buy a $50 book because I feel better talking to a human at that price. And again, these are the esoterics of funnel building, and people get all worried about, you know, well, what if I add this 47th step and it doesn't work? Well, you know, make sure you've got these 5 steps in place, or 3 steps in place, and that they function and that people are happy with them. And make sure you have a need for even one more step before you start worrying about adding 40 more steps. You know, and that's again what I see. There's nothing wrong with simplicity. There's nothing wrong. You know, some people kind of look down and, well, that's a simple. Yeah, you're dang right at it, and it freaking works.
But you know what? Simple gets it done. And pretty design does not pay the bills. You can't cash in a pretty design at the bank. But yeah.
there are just rereading a book by Jim Edwards on copywriting. And one of the points that he makes is that at least 5 times more people will read your headline than will read your marketing copy, or sales copy. And if you don't get the headline right, nobody will read your marketing copy. And for a certain amount of people, if you have the headline correct, they don't need to read the body. They'll already be sold. And here's the thing. You can actually make sales with an ugly, quotes, ugly funnel.
Oh, yeah. All means.
As long as you have a quality way of getting them in and a quality way of taking their money, frankly. So I think, again, just my personal opinion, I've seen way too many people worry about having a beautiful process that doesn't work, a beautiful process that isn't even a process. I've seen too many people worry about having a complex process that offers, 47 upsells and 33 downsells. And, instead of one-time offer, they've got like 4 one-time offers.
Why do you think that is? Because those are really things that don't move the needle, really. I don't think they move the needle. Why do you think people focus on those
things? Since you asked me that question, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself that you didn't know.
All right, let's get into it. If this has anything to do with karate, I can't wait.
Well, it kind of does.
Okay.
It has to do with my wife. My wife is actually a clinical psychologist.
Oh, really?
She is also a karate student and has been known to beat the snot out of me from time to time. But because you asked an honest question. I'm going to give you my honest answer to that question. Mm-hmm. Why do people concentrate on all the fancy stuff?
Shiny objects?
Because they're afraid to commit.
To do the work.
No, they're not afraid to do the work. They're afraid to pull the trigger. They're afraid to pull the switch. What happens if I make a simple offer and nobody buys?
Okay.
I'm gonna be so embarrassed. I'm gonna be crushed. I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna go drink a quart of booze. I'm gonna go eat a gallon of ice cream. All right, so fine.
So I'll sit here and focus on other things to procrastinate.
I never have to hit that switch. I want to add 47 different levels to my funnel or to my sales process because I never want to go back and flip the switch on that. Do you want to buy this? Yes or no? No? Okay. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate your time. Have a great day. Maybe we'll talk to you in the future. Bye. You're out of there and you move on to the next one. And I'm answering that with such conviction because guess what? I'm in that boat as well. I anytime somebody says no to me, I take it personally. Even if it's not directed at me personally, I will take it personally. And it's crushing. So I've had to, how can I say this? I'm like one of the worst people, as a salesperson because, I take no's personally, which is one of the reasons why I love automated funnels.
That's the problem.
Because people can say no or simply opt out of the funnel, and they don't have to say it to my face. And if I'm selling a high ticket item, by the time they get to the point where, we're on the phone, it's going to be, if there's a no, it's probably going to be coming from me. Hey, I don't think you're a fit for our product or our service at this time. Thanks. We're going to be offering this again next year. I will keep you at the top of the list. And if they say no to me, it's probably not going to be anything that I can control. Like I'm in a particular course right now. Always invest in yourself, by the way.
Always.
Yeah. I'm in a particular course right now where it ended in the sales process ended in a phone call. They called me and they said, are you a fit for this? All right, now we come to the price. The price is going to be $8,000, and I was expecting half of that. And I was like, well, the guy's like, okay, here's I'm going to counter your objection to choking on that price. I can do payment plan. I can do break it up into 4 payments, 2 payments. And if you're not ready this year, not ready to invest that kind of money this year, I can put you on the top of the list for next year. So he was able to counter those objections. They weren't really an objection. I just wasn't expecting that. He was able to counter those because we were on a live phone call at the end of the sales process. He knew I wasn't going to go, well, I got the, I'm a member of the Elks. And, no, he knew that wasn't an objection.
Yeah, you'd already gotten to that particular point in the sales process. So what do you think about, because I always think that, the sales process is answering questions, objections, answering questions and giving logical reasons to buy. Um, and I think sometimes, like I always use my experience as being an adjuster and going out there, consistently seeing these patterns and knowing the questions that you're going to get. And there's a couple of ways that you can handle those. You can either handle them before they are brought up, or you can handle them after they are brought up. And I think when you handle them after they're brought up, it's a little tougher. It's a longer conversation. But when you can add that into your sales presentation, I think it. What do you think about that?
I think there's a fine line. There are objections, and I'm going to put this in quotes too, that everybody has, or there are questions that everybody has. Again, price is one of them. How soon can I get that? That's another one. That you can reliably answer. There are other questions, I think, and I'm talking about making the sales process too complicated. And, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but there's a phrase, the straw that broke the camel. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take 47 extra steps to be too much. It only takes one step to be too much. So you just have to figure out where that is. So if you answer an objection as a salesperson, if you answer an objection that nobody has thought of, that's not worthwhile. So, however, if somebody has a question or an objection after the fact, you have to address that immediately. And you have to do it well. And that can be in the realm, it can move from the realm of sales to the realm of customer service very, very quickly. And it's hard, when you're asked that question, and it's difficult to judge how that your answer is going to be. What question are you talking about, Will? Whatever question that the customer has. Let me give you an example. Let's go back to burger joint. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This one's real. A couple of years ago, Burger King started offering the plant-based Impossible Whopper.
I remember that.
Now, they still sell it, and I love it. I think it's great. But they never said anything other than, hey, we're offering this plant-based burger. A lot of people, and I have no idea why, assumed the whole thing was going to be vegan. Mm-hmm. And they actually had lawsuits that were brought against them for cooking these plant-based Whoppers. It's hard to remember which is which. So they had these plant-based burgers in with meat burgers. Oh my God! I was expecting a. Why? Why were you expecting a vegan experience? You're going to a burger joint where there's, animals on the menu.
100% pure beef.
Right, exactly. Now, here's the thing. What they did was their answer was, I'm sorry, we never said it was going to be a vegan experience. We just simply said we were selling this plant-based patty.
Yes.
It's an option. Now, was that a good answer or a bad answer? I don't know. You have to wait for that answer to find out.
That's true. That's true.
They could have said, tough crap, you'll eat what we give you. Kind of like what my mother said when I was growing up. Yeah, you don't. Oh, you didn't want that for dinner? Well, too bad. Um, they could have said something like that, and it would have been a terrible response.
Hmm.
Now, now, am I trying to give you or anybody else a cookie cutter answer on what to say, how to counter an objection? No, I'm not. Well, all I'm saying is you can't and you shouldn't necessarily give counter objections that haven't been raised unless you know that they're going to be raised, which is why frequently asked question pages, fact lists are so good as a pre-sales process.
That will frequently asked questions could be considered sort of handling those objections that
That's
those common
exactly what they are.
Yeah, those common questions that come up during the the asking for the sale portion. Those things that people have to have up here to say yes to the purchase.
Not only that, you can also use I have for a few different sites that I have two different fact pages. There's the pre-sales frequently asked questions, and then there's the post-sale frequently asked questions. Oh, for instance, how much is this? How do I get support? What time are you guys open? Those are pre-sales questions. One of the most that I see anyway, one of the most frequent post-sale questions is, where do I start? What's step one? What's step two? What's step three? Which is why a lot of software that you might buy, they'll have videos that take you through the use of their software, or it doesn't necessarily have to be software. It could be just for instance, I purchased online access to a stock research program, and they gave me like 3 videos to get me started, which is a good start. It launched me up, but it wasn't necessarily a software program. It was a process that I would have to go through each time that I wanted to research the stock. My point is, frequently asked questions appear before and afterwards. Here's the thing. Answering frequently asked questions post-sale can keep people from either requesting a refund or, which is even worse, keeping the product without a refund and then bad-mouthing you to everybody else. So, all right, Mark, I paid you
$30. I paid you $5 for this, and I wanted the world.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's yes. What's even worse is I paid you X amount of dollars, and I'm not even going to complain to you. I'm going to go out and tell all my friends that, Mark Douglas sells a shoddy product. He doesn't. By the way, I'm just using marketing.
We're going to edit that part out.
Yeah, we're going to cut that part out. Bleep sells a shoddy product. No, but people vote with their wallet, and I would rather have somebody who buys from me once and is happy than someone who buys from me repeated times, small amounts, and then goes around grousing. I used to work in Connecticut, and I would take the bus and the train back to my apartment from work, and and I would stop at this convenience store, and every night I would go and I would grab a soda, and it was always about the same time. There was always a guy who rode my train who would go in there, and he would always buy like something small, and he would be complaining every second that he was in there. This place is dirty. I hate coming in here. The lights aren't working. The guy who's waiting on me can't speak English. Blah 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 blah. But he was there every day buying stuff. He was every day he was spending a little bit of money. And I would have, if I was the guy behind the counter, I would have said, look, if you hate it so much, there's another store right down the block. I'm sure they're a much better fit for you. Mm-hmm. So I hate to lose you as a customer, but maybe to make you happier, you should go down there. And that's another case of you have to do this in person. Firing a customer is never something you want to do. I've only had to do it about 3 times.
Oh yeah, but sometimes I call it addition by subtraction.
I like your term much better than mine.
Addition by subtraction, because the time you save, the time you save is probably a little more valuable than the little bit of profit that
the
you
money
make.
That you get every day.
Yeah. So I remember there was an outage on Facebook and Instagram recently. Do you remember that outage?
No, I've completely forgotten about it. It happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that it was almost a complete day-long outage, and thousands of people, even that have millions of followers on these social platforms, they lost control of their access to those people. What are your thoughts about using social platforms as a means for generating leads in sales funnels?
Well, I remind me I owe you $5 for that wonderful lead-in.
Oh yeah.
Here's the deal.
Softball.
A lot of people don't know. Oh yeah, man, you walked that to me. A lot of people don't know this, but very recently, Instagram has begun allowing for automated direct messaging.
Oh, really?
And I started working with clients doing Instagram automated direct messaging about a week and a half before this outage. Now, I've worked with my clients for years, saying the first thing I'll say to a prospect is, you need a list. You have a list.
And when you say a list,
what I mean is a list of names and or contact points. And when I say contact points, I mean like email or mobile phone number.
Okay.
Where that you control, that you own, so that when things like this Facebook, Instagram outage happen, you can't connect with any of your followers on Instagram. So if you have 1 million people on Instagram, and Instagram is out, here's a question: how many can you connect with? The correct answer is
0.
Because you have no way of getting to them. So for a lot of people, your best method, your best solution for this is to move Instagram followers or anybody who's following you on any social media off of that social media platform and onto a list that you control. Now, we haven't got the time for this, but lists are extremely important. The short, pithy sentence is Money is in the list. Why? Because if I have a list of 1,000 people, I can get up at 3:00 in the morning and send out an email. I can sit there and pound one out, send it out, because my mortgage is due in 3 days and I've got to make a payment. So I can come up with a product that is $50 and try to get 30% of my 1,000 people on my list, to buy that $30 product. The point is, if the only place that you have access to those followers is through that social media platform, you are not guaranteed access to any or all of those people at any time.
What do you think the consequences of that could be?
Going out of business, living on the street. Look, a lot, again, I started out in marketing not knowing my ear from my elbow, let's put it that way. And there's a lot of things that I've found out over the years. One of the first things I heard was the money is in the list. I had no idea what that actually was. Even when somebody explained it to me, it's like swimming. Do this, you'll be swimming. Well, if you're in the air, if you're standing on ground, doing this all day long is not swimming. Somebody has to put you in the pool or put you in the water somewhere for this to make anything to make sense to you.
Right.
So I didn't need a list because the companies that I was working for had a list. They had hundreds or thousands of customers. All I had to do was answer the phone when one of those customers called. When times got tough, I could reach into their list and call those customers and say, hey, you need whatever I was selling at the time. But I never had my own list. And when I lost one of my first marketing jobs, I was lucky I had 3 people on whose numbers I could take. That's another complete story that I want to get into. That's when I started realizing, oh crap, I need a list of people that I can contact for sales, that I can rely on. Even if all you want to do is cry on somebody's shoulder, you need a list of people, because I can call you up one time and go, hey, Mark, and you're like, okay, don't ever call me again. Now I need somebody else on that list. But, my point is, if you don't have a list of people that you can contact, you're at the whim of somebody else. So let's say, and when I use the word you, I don't mean you particularly, Mark. I'm talking about you in general.
Okay.
So let's say you have a product or something you want to sell, and I'm your sales guy. So you have a product, and I go, oh, don't worry about it, I'll find buyers for you. So I go out and I find buyers. And but let's say I have a heart attack, or even worse, I just don't feel like coming in today. Now you have no way of selling to those people that I put you in contact with.
Right.
You need to have this. That's the situation that you're going to be in if you rely on social media followers or social media to connect you with your followers.
So when you start collecting this, your list, when you start building your list, what do you do with the list? If everything is going okay, what do you do with the list? Okay, so now I have been collecting contact information from my followers. What do I do with that?
All right. Well, the first thing you need to do, and this will happen organically, whether you want it to or not, is you need to build a relationship with each individual on that list. Now, I have been a recipient, I've been a member of lists for people where all they do is send out like heavy-handed sales messages every day. Buy this product. Hey, you didn't like that product? Buy this product. I mean, I get these every day from these people. Now, whether they're trying to or not, they are building a relationship. The relationship they're building, in my particular case, is I don't want these sales messages. I can either remove myself from the list, or worse, I can just get them and not even open them.
Or report them as spam.
Or report them as spam. So they're automatically building that relationship. That's a good point there, because you're always building a relationship. You are.
And the question is, what type of relationship?
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. Just like with social media, if I send a message to my followers on Instagram, I'm not controlling who gets to see that message. I'm not controlling that relationship. But if I have the list, if I control that list, if I own that list, I send out the messages when I want them to. When I want them to go out. And I can say whatever I want to say. Then I control that relationship. Or at least so far, the connection point, I control that relationship. I work with a lot of profit and nonprofit companies with their lists. I often write the copy for their emails, sort of thing. So I've seen what works and what doesn't, personally. And it's you want to build a friendly relationship. You also want to build an accurate relationship. So if you're going to be selling something, you can't build a relationship by saying, "Hi, we never want to sell you anything. We just want to be friends." Okay. And then because when you hit them with a sales offer, they're going to go, "You lied to me." And they're all going to desert you. What you should do is offer value. And more important, everybody forgets this. Not everybody. Okay. 98% of people forget this. Okay?
Tell us.
It's the biggest secret that's been staring you in the face forever. Don't tell people. Ask them. So, Mark, what are your 3 favorite colors? If you were going to have a boat, what 3 colors would you want on that boat? Now, this question may not be of any relationship whatsoever. It may just be a question that I pull out of my butt. It doesn't matter. The point is that I ask you a question and then I'm asking for your feedback. The point is not the question. The point is not the answer that you give. The point for you, because I asked you the question, is that I'm soliciting your feedback. And I have to at least, or I should, appear to listen to your feedback. Now, whether I don't have to do anything about it, but I should at least appear to listen to it. I can send back an automated response that says, "Wow, really? Those 3 colors? That's great." But you feel better and you feel engaged because I asked you a question and whether I actually did or not, I appeared to listen to your answer. So you're going to feel more
heard.
You feel more connected to me.
Yeah. Seen and heard.
Given 2 different companies offering the same product for the same price point, which one are you going to go with? Are you going to, and this is a trick question, are you going to buy from the company that doesn't interact with you? Or are you going to buy from a company that does interact with you? And that's a trick question because companies don't interact with you. People buy from people.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So if I sent you a message that says, we appreciate, the staff of Agile Marketing Services appreciates your input in certain areas. The staff, has taken a vote, and we, like you the best. Thank you, regards, Agile Marketing Services. You're going to look at that and go, wow, you're special. But if I say, Mark, thanks for taking the time to invite me on your show. I really appreciate the questions you had. I appreciate the opportunity to address your audience. And this is, believe it or not, folks, this is a social medium where I don't have direct access to you. I have access to what he's listening to through Mark. Okay, I can't reach out and offer you, something to buy. I would have to do it through Mark. So I'm being appreciative to Mark, and I write this letter and I sign it, Scott. Which one of those?
Scott, how thoughtful of you.
Yeah, which one of those would you rather get? Which one of those establishes a relationship?
Just you saying that gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
All right, you owe me another $5. I'm joking. But that's the thing. Here's the deal. There was a group. This is a quick story, I swear. There was a group. It used to be called SIFE, Students in Free Enterprise.
Oh my gosh. I was part of that group in college.
Yes, so was I.
Walmart. Sam Walton Foundation.
Yep.
We used to compete every year.
Yep.
Whoa, wow, Scott, I didn't know we had that in common.
Yeah, see? Here's what
Students in Free Enterprise. Yeah.
Yep. The name of it now is Enactus.
Yep. It's like worldwide now.
Yes. And everybody who's watching this, I encourage you to find out about Enactus. ENACTUS. And see what you can do to get involved with your local Enactus chapter at a college near you. But anyway,
it was young entrepreneurs. We would do things in the community, and then it was always like giving back. And then every year we would compete, and I would always go to the competition that was in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yep. We did. We went the first year I was there. We went to the Nationals, Kansas City, Missouri. I think it was Missouri. I can't remember if Kansas City.
Wow, interesting, because after college, a friend of mine, we became judges for the event. Mm-hmm. Did you?
I judged a couple of times, yeah.
Wow. Hey, yeah. Nice. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So now we have something else that we can get on and talk about. But yes. I wanted to, I don't mean to interrupt this.
Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to hit this because you said I had given you a warm.
Okay.
We were at this competition. It was, I apologize, I'm going to bring up a racial topic. It was me and 4 other white young men. Mm-hmm. We were standing outside a restaurant in Kansas City, I'm not sure. And a young black man, dressed very nicely, came up to me, because I was 10 years older than any of the rest of the time. Came up to me and said, "Excuse me, sir, I need a bus. I need to buy a bus ticket back to blah 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 blah. I have to get there in the morning for a job interview. The ticket costs $32 and some odd cents. I have $14. see, and he pulled out a Bible, opened the Bible, and there was 14, there's like 2 5s and 4 1s in his Bible. And he said, I'm not asking for, the rest of the money, but if you've got an extra couple of dollars you can spare, could I please ask you for that? I would appreciate it. And I said, sure. And I took out a 20 and I gave him the 20. And he said, wow, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. And then he was off. And I turned around to the 4 other kids who were with me and I said, what did I just do? And they're like, I don't know, you gave money to some kid who was looking to get a... No, I just bought myself a warm and fuzzy feeling. I said, do you think that kid really needs like $12 to get on a bus? No, this is his job. He's walking around. Watch, he'll walk up to some other well-to-do guy and give him the same pitch. I said, he'll get that money. I go, but I bought myself a warm and fuzzy feeling by giving this guy a $20 bill. Now, what did I receive for my donation? I received the story. Okay?
Wow.
I'm not trying to denigrate anybody who's doing anything like
it. It could have been, there's an underlying message to the story that you're telling. And I think it probably could have been I get the message.
But how else did I get a warm and fuzzy feeling? Not just giving this guy $20. I gave this guy $20 in front of an audience.
Whoa.
It wasn't, this guy is smart. If you go up and you sell something to someone individually,
it's easier for them to say no.
It's easier for them to say no. And it's also, they'll buy for a different reason. I might need it. If you're selling me a candy bar, I don't want it because I'm hungry. Or I might want it because I'm going to save it for dessert or something. If you offer me something in front of an audience, I'm not just buying that product, or at least I'm hoping not to just buy that product. I'm buying an enhanced status in front of the people who are with me.
Man, Scott. Woo!
This is why if you're selling something, it doesn't matter what it is. If you promote the fact, and again, please don't use this as a hustle. Don't use this as a lie. Do it for real. It doesn't matter how much you give, but if you promise that X% of each sale goes to a certain charity, more people may buy, especially if you recognize them for that bit of charity. Now, let's say I sell you something for $1,000 and I say 1% of that is going to charity. So that's $10. Whatever. But if I then turn around and post in an area where you are online that says, Mark, I thank you for your generous donation. Part of your sale, and I don't say a little of it, went to my favorite charity. In case anybody's listening, it's Kitty Corner of Central New York, kittycorner.org. I help them out for free. But anyway, so I say, Mark, I appreciate your generous donation to Kitty Corner. I will always remember your generosity. What does that do for you personally? Very little. what does that do for you because I posted it publicly to your audience? A lot.
Hmm.
You don't have to, more importantly, you don't have to tell your audience that you're a great guy. I just showed them that. How much is that worth?
Showing instead of telling. It's a much bigger impact when someone else talks about you than when you say it yourself.
Exactly. Which is why
it's a much bigger impact. You can talk about yourself all the time, but hearing it from someone else that says it, it's a much bigger impact.
That's why believe me, I haven't been on the dating scene in 35 years. But having a wingman or wingwoman is important if you're out dating. If you see somebody you like at let's use a stereotypical bar. Hi, Mark, my name is Scott. I think you're awful cute, and I'm a good kisser, and I have a lot of money, so I can take you out, and we're gonna have a good time. And what do you say? Let's go out. Okay. I sound arrogant, because I'm saying all these things about myself. Now I have somebody else come up to you and go, "Hey, Mark, the guy over there, his name is Scott. He's a really good friend of mine, and I've heard that he's a good kisser. He makes a pretty good living. If you went out with him, you could probably go to a nice restaurant. Would you like me to introduce you to him?"
Well,
you're more likely to say yes to that second approach, because I'm not being seen as tooting my own horn, which is why I still believe in press releases, or media releases, actually, in addition to ads. You'll often see
how many people are reading those?
A lot.
Okay.
Here's a big secret. If you write a press release the right way, an editor or a reporter won't change it that much.
So you can basically write your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your own publicity.
Exactly, which is worth more than an ad.
Because
not because you are paying less, not paying anything, but for an ad is, I'm great, I sell this product, my company does this, you should buy my product. And again, that's like walking up to somebody in a bar going, "Hi, baby, I'm great. Want to go out?" But a press release gives you the opportunity to have someone else say something nice about you. The way I write it, and again, I'm moving too far away from funnels, but the way I write a press release is I take my client and then I find somebody else to say something nice about my client. So I've got a restaurant that's near me. It's just a small breakfast place, and they put up a wall, a flag, and pictures of their patrons who have been in the military. So I wrote a press release about them. Did I use the point of view of the owners of the restaurant? No. I used the point of view of somebody who had walked in and said, "Wow, that's a great wall of recognition." And then I moved into the owners of the restaurant, and I took some, sorry, it's marketing. I took some humble quotes from them saying, "We just wanted to, recognize the members of the military who were our guests, our patrons. We're not doing it for fame or whatever. It's just something we like to do for our clients." that got into the paper like
Well,
news blogging.
Nice. I'll tell you what, I'm writing notes from this interview, Scott. That's how you have me. I'm over here writing notes.
Make sure you pass them back to me because I don't know.
Let me see. I got it. Okay. Wow. Oh, okay. Agile. No, but all right. We've gone over an hour, so I wanted to no, it's fine. It's fine, man. It's been like super awesome chatting with you. I'm like, wow, I'm getting all this just supreme knowledge from years and years of marketing. But as we sign off right now, I want to just get some final words from you, and just I want you to wrap it up and wrap the conversation with a bow. And I mean, if there was one thing that you want to encapsulate for the audience out there listening, we've touched on marketing, we've touched on sales funnels, we've touched on some ways to communicate and selling in front of an audience, getting other people to vouch for you. So I'm gonna let you wrap a bow on this conversation.
Oh man, give me the hard part. Okay, so if I had 30 seconds to just reach out to your audience and smack them on the head and say, remember this. Build a list. Make sure you communicate with that list and build a relationship. The kind of relationship that you want to build. So if it's, if you want to sell to them every day, that's one kind of relationship. If you want to say nice things to them every day, that's another kind of relationship. The best kind of relationship to build is one where you ask for their input and listen to it. Okay, so build a list and build a relationship with that list by asking questions. Okay.
All right.
Then, when you have your process, you start building your process. That is your funnel. Make it simple. Make it effective. Okay. You don't have to have 47 different upsells and downsells and one-time offers. Okay. Just make it do one thing, make that thing function, and then more important, above and beyond any of these things, if you make a promise to a prospect or a customer, keep that promise. And if you can, under promise and over deliver. That's it.
Hashtag over deliver.
Sure, I'll take that.
What a way to end it. So, all right. It's been a pleasure having you on and having this conversation. I think we're going to have to do this again, Scott. But thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. If you're just starting out online, you're probably studying a lot. That's great. You're probably geeking out on all the strategies also, right? Well, that's also great. But the hardest part is figuring out how to communicate in a way that makes someone want to buy from you and how you should sell to them, right? Well, that's also what I struggled with for a while until I found the formula. So I created this free 5-day challenge called the Make More Money Marketing Challenge to get you on track with your marketing and, more importantly, the right sales scripts and processes to get it off the ground and getting people to take you up on your products, services, and your opportunities. You want to come? Well, there's small groups on purpose so I can answer your direct questions for 5 straight days. You can hold your spot by going to www.thementalmarketer.com/4M challenge sign up. Again, that's thementalmarketer.com/4M challenge sign up. Check the site for dates and times. I'll see you on the inside.